News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. We're coming up on a big wide shot to start things this morning because we have so many great guests. All right, now, yesterday we talked with 2 state lawmakers about efforts to toughen the laws, cracking down on some of these things that are showing up in opioids. Of course, that's a huge situation here in the state of Tennessee, nationwide, frankly, the epidemic of opioid overdoses, addiction, and the like. Now, yesterday was addressing some of the legal aspects of it and dealing with, prosecution and going after people with tougher penalties. Today, our guests are with us to talk about the help that is out there for folks dealing with opioid addiction, the organization The Next Door. I'll let them explain that name for you, but we've got 3 great guests to talk about combating addiction, and you're going to be invited to join in the conversation. You see the number on the screen, 737-7587. If you want to call in questions, if you're dealing with something like this yourself or you have someone that is, good time to join us in the conversation. Ashley Rakestraw is with us. She's the clinical services manager for this organization. Yes. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on. Next to you is Carrie Frazier. She is director of spiritual wellness and alumni services. And Nita Chester is director of nursing. Hi.
Good morning.
The Next Door, we were just talking, it's located down on Charlotte, not far from Red Cross, I guess, across the street.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who wants to hit this? Nita, you want to give me an idea? The title, The Next Door, and how long has it been around, The Next Door?
So The Next Door started out about 12 years ago. Okay. It was strictly for women who were coming out of incarceration and trying to start that next phase of their life, hence kind of the next door
over.
And it's just kind of evolved. And now we have detox, residential services, as well as we continue with the reentry clients who come directly from incarceration.
So they're not all just incarcerated.
No,
these are, I guess I can understand how some may come from jail to you, but how do you get your other patients?
We have a Hope line that they call, and start out with the admissions department, and they get information and go from there.
Are you busy?
Always. Yes.
Really? Have you seen how big a spike and a change? I mean, it's been a big news story for years now, frankly, and it just seems like it's getting worse, especially with this fentanyl that's showing up in a lot of these, opioids. People don't realize what they're getting, but I mean, how much busier is it over the past? I mean, what kind of spike in the number of faces you've seen coming through the door?
I think we've stayed busy. It's the trends are what we end up seeing of what people are using when they come in the door. So certainly heroin and opiates have increased over the past several years as being a primary drug that we see that the women have been using.
But what other drugs then? I'm just curious. I just had the thinking that it was primarily opioids, but I mean, we're talking
Xanax, Valium.
Oh, okay.
Alcohol.
Oh, okay. So
absolutely, yes.
Of course,
yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Meth.
Meth. Really?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
You don't see the stuff like LSD and things like that, do you?
Not really.
That's not really around anymore as much.
Not common.
Not common at all. But yeah, all right. As far as the powerful opioids out there, yesterday those lawmakers were talking about, fentanyl is what's supposed to be like 100 times more powerful than morphine.
Well, it's a nasty.
And then there were a couple others that were like 1,000 times more, where they say it's to the point now, and they're like, why do we need something 1,000 times more powerful than morphine? And they said police officers were, cleaning this stuff up, and then just a touching on the skin, and they're having a reaction. I mean, some of these incredibly powerful drugs, and that's why people are dying. Have you had clients die?
Yes.
That have come through?
We have.
Okay, not necessarily after they've gone through some form of treatment and they get back out and they relapse?
Yes. Not actually at the facility.
Okay, that's what I figured. They're there in a setting. But so what is the percentage of folks that will go through a treatment program and then relapse? I heard it's pretty high.
It's I think that they say it takes like sometimes 3
times to go through, really?
To really sink in and get the basics, because it's a complete life change. I mean, they have so much to learn and change in their lives. It's hard.
So when you think about they're giving up the drugs, but then they're also asking them to give up many of the friends that they've known, sometimes their family that they've known.
Sure.
Even sometimes they're asking them not to return.
to the home, which they've established, because there may be drugs in their home. So we're working to find them a new place to live. When you ask them to give up so many things, we had a client that once said, "You've only left me my name," but that's enough. That's enough today, and we can start over.
Otherwise, they go back to the same environment, and the temptations are there, which you hear time. What's the average length of stay for someone maybe in a situation dealing with an opioid addiction? How long?
It just depends. 14, 30 days, something like that.
Okay, and is the decision made by you there, or do they say, I can only stay for a week? Or how does that work? I mean, it's not a prison, so they can leave if they want to.
Absolutely.
So you have to convince them that, look, you're not ready to go yet if they want to leave, right? And if, is that, but 30 days? I just can't see someone kicking an opioid addiction in 2 weeks. In fact, I guarantee you that doesn't happen. I'm sorry. If you say it did, I don't believe you. It's just 2 weeks isn't going to happen.
Ideally, we would like them to stay 30 days and then
they have treatment.
And then step into our intensive outpatient program and then step into our aftercare. So we have that continued service.
Right.
But a lot of that is depends on what their insurance will cover and then what they're able to cover outside of their insurance. So for some people they can get 2 weeks, but then we try to drop them down into our IOP program, our intensive outpatient, and then still continue on with aftercare, so they can stay connected and plugged in as long as they want. We'll find ways for them to stay engaged with our program.
I guess it's a lifelong thing for them eventually when they get to it. So I guess that's an important thing to address on this, is just, you know, the costs are involved. Everything takes money. I assume that you, now is the Next Door a nonprofit, or it is?
Yes.
All right, so you do you get donations and such to help assist with the treatment programs? How does that work?
There are donations, absolutely. Lots of fundraisers.
We have block grants that are able to assist those who don't have insurance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, not everyone. Some of them, you know, may have a means to pay, but others don't. I don't know if it's a sliding scale. How does it work? I mean, if someone comes in that they don't have much resource, what do you do?
Yeah, we would look in to see if they qualify for our block grant. If that's not an option, see if a sliding scale fee is an option. We accept all forms of TennCare. We also accept commercial insurance payments. So just about anybody who calls in, we would work to see what would work for them to get them into the program. We don't want to lose anybody who calls in, and if we're not able to get them into our program, we're going to ensure that they get a place where they can turn for help.
Is it predominantly women that you deal with?
We are women, all
exclusively
women.
Exclusively women. And in some cases, then again, when you're dealing with them, they may have children, right?
Yes, sir. Huge issue.
Oh. Okay, we'll talk about that too. And do some of them coming from an abusive situation, maybe?
Yes,
so do you have shelters that are secure so that if the abuser shows up?
Well, it's an anonymous program, so if there's no release to talk to they don't even get through the door.
I gotcha. Okay, that's the way it should be. All right. Well, listen, so much to cover. I'm just bouncing around here. We've got some phone calls that we'll take your calls as well. We'll take a break and we'll talk more, and then just maybe you guys can go into more detail just about, you know, the steps that you have to take to help these people and what they're actually experiencing when they come there. And I assume you have an alumni, right? So you know, you can tell us about some of the success stories as well. So we'll take a break and be back with our guests as we're talking about combating addiction. You know, opioids is the biggie, but there's other things as well, as you said, alcohol and the like. So we'll take a break and be back with more right after this.